Welcome to episode 12 of Part
Yeah,
of
it is.
City.
It's 12, yeah.
I'm Eric.
Kevin. And that's Kevin with a K, by the way. I know some of y'all are getting a little confused, so.
Uh, Talk to the audience. We don't really.
Yeah, actually, we have a few people.
Oh.
We apparently have Canadian viewers or listeners now.
Well, hello there, neighbor to the north.
I don't think, out of all the podcasts I've done, I don't think I've ever had Canadian listeners. I've
That's kind
had
of cool.
listeners from other countries before, but never Canada.
Yes, you're such a veteran of the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Podcasts I've done before.
it's not like I've been. The earliest podcast I ever attempted to do was back in I think, geez, what year was that? 2013, I want to say. Yeah, I was in my early 20s, so yeah, I think it was like 2013.
Yeah.
That was a Christian podcast I attempted to start one time. I only made like one episode, and then I was like,
So, how's your weekend been?
Just hanging out with my kids. My daughter's being really weird right now.
Yeah. I mean, they are your kids.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're weird.
Oh. So you're saying if you had kids, they would just be constantly griping all the time?
No, hopefully they'll take after their mom on that part. She gripes a little less than I do.
My daughter can be a little gripey. She gets that from her mom, though.
Yeah.
She also attempts to be extremely bossy. So. Tries to boss me around all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, kids go through that phase eventually sometimes.
I don't think I ever went through a bossy phase. I was too way too
timid.
Yeah, and submissive. Is that the right word to say without sounding too inappropriate?
I mean, timid, submissive. I mean,
yeah.
quiet.
I just did what people told me to do. So, for the most part. Heck, I even did what other kids told me to do. Sometimes they just tell me, and I'll be like, "All right."
That gets you in trouble.
Yeah, it did a couple of times, or almost did a few times. So.
Yeah.
One time I got in trouble for wearing a dress when I was like 7 years old, I think. It was my cousin's idea. She thought it would be, we wanted to make like our own. We didn't even have a camera, so I don't know what we were doing, but we thought it'd be fun. You know, this was back when America's Funniest Home Videos was like a big deal on television. And she thought it would be funny if we made our own America's Funniest Home Videos with no camera. So I guess we were just pretending to record it. I don't know. And I was like, well, so we threw out some different ideas, and one of her ideas was that I should wear one of my sister's dresses. And I was like, no way, I'm not doing that. So, and finally, I don't know how it happened, but somehow she talked me into it, and then I put it on, and then my mom got onto me for it. So it's like it wasn't even my idea. Same thing happened last Tuesday, though. I put on a dress, and my mom got onto me for it. I don't know. Guess nothing's changed.
Okay, what you do before you come to work is your business.
I'm just being silly.
I mean, wouldn't put it past you.
You think I would?
Yes, I do.
Dress and then just wear it in front of my mother. Like, hey, Mom, what do you think of this?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past you 100%.
I don't think I would look good in a dress.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't look good in a dress.
I guess it depends on what kind of dress I would wear. Like, if I wore, like, like I don't know, like maybe a skirt would be okay if it was maybe a bit of a longer one. I don't think I could pull off a really short one. Well, maybe I could. I don't know.
I
So,
mean, with all the guys honking their horns at you, but with your shorts on.
I know, right? I know.
How do you guys
I put
live?
my shorts on the other day for the first time, since like it was warm and stuff, and because it's starting to warm up a bit here in Arkansas, anyway. Um, and some dude, he he like starts screaming at me like bloody murder as they drove by, and he scared the freaking crap out of me. So, and I was like, was he yelling at me because I don't know. So,
Like, what was he yelling?
he didn't yell anything, any words or anything. He just went ah! Like that. He screamed like extremely loud too. So, but
Wow.
usually I get whistled at a lot. So,
You put on shorts and you get catcalled.
yeah, and it's usually always some guy in a truck. So it's always a guy in a truck that does it.
Fucking cliches.
Yeah, I get whistled at a lot, or I get the woo woos a lot, like woo, you know. I get those. I've had a few like, hey, like they'll say some short phrase or something like, hey, like a hey baby or hey, how's it going? I'm like, do they think I'm a woman or are they a, I don't know. I guess they just think I'm a woman. I don't know.
Yeah, good chance they do. I
Yeah.
mean, you got long hair. They're just coming behind you. I mean, it probably doesn't help that the fact that where you walk, like getting to work, is where all those, I guess, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't know if it's for their sports or whatever, but those girls are always running up and down.
Yeah, those are actually high schoolers. I don't know why they run on the sidewalk like that. I mean, they should have a track or something in there. I think they do. The guys do it too. They run right up on that sidewalk. The only difference is when they get to the end, for some reason, they always split ways. The guys go to the right, and then the girls keep going straight. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they do that.
One of the
So,
girls,
mhm.
which they do. Those guys are really weird. So you can clearly tell they're high schooler.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into that one.
So the weirdest thing happened to me the other day. This has nothing to do with anything we were just talking about. So, uh, I woke. I can't remember what day it was. I want to say it was Wednesday, but I may be wrong about the day. But I woke myself up like really early in the morning because I was uncontrollable sneezing, and I was just like nonstop sneezing. Now I'm going to give a warning to anyone who might be listening that if mucus grosses you out, then you might want to skip ahead just a bit because this story is going to involve a lot of mucus. But because not only was I uncontrollable like sneezing, but I had like a lot of mucus buildup in my sinuses, which is actually kind of rare for me nowadays. Um, I was just like, well, I'll just sneeze it for a minute and then I'll go back to sleep. And because it was still pretty friggin' early, I didn't want to get up that early. And so I sneezed several times. I think it was like 10 times in a row or something. And then I finally calmed down enough to where I was able to like lay back down, but it would like pause for like a minute and then I would start sneezing uncontrollably again. And like I said, in the meantime, mucus is just constantly building up in my nose. So I finally was like, well, let me just get up and blow my nose a little bit so I can actually breathe. And so I blew my nose like really good and got it all cleared out, laid back down, and the mucus immediately started building right back up again. And then the uncontrollable sneezing started up. So I finally I kept getting up and blowing my nose, getting up and blowing my nose. So I finally gave up and just brought toilet paper to my room and just started blowing my nose in there. And after I did that, probably about, I don't know how many times, like 6, 7, 8 times in a row, finally my body just like the mucus just immediately stopped. And then the sneezing all immediately stopped. And then I was able to breathe like really well again. It was like, it felt like I had like, a cold that lasted like 30 minutes and then after I blew it all out it like went away or something. I don't even know how to explain it. So, it was really weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Yeah, I mean, I have mucus issues, but mine's because like I get
Well,
dried
usually
mucus.
when people get mucus build up, it's something that lasts like a day or two or so. But it's like I don't think I've ever had that happen to me before where I mean, because I'm talking a lot. And it was just nonstop. It was like within a minute, I was already like probably looked like one of those kids on a playground walking around with like snot dripping out of their nose, and it only took like a minute to get to that point. And I was just like, "What the heck is wrong?" And then just like I said, immediate stop right after I just blew it like 6, 7
But that,
times in a row.
I mean, you could have gotten something went up your nose or
Yeah,
something.
like maybe my body was just immediately like, "Get this out."
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but get it out. Yeah, some kind of yeah, foreign material.
Yeah.
Foreign material got in my nose.
And your body's like, nope, I do not like this. Get it out. Gone. Finite. Bye bye.
Yep.
It'd be that way sometimes.
So have you done anything interesting this weekend?
No, yesterday I just felt like somebody, like, I mean, hit me with their fucking truck. The best way to explain, like,
Oh yeah, that was me. Sorry about that.
backed the fuck back over me and
Yeah.
ran back over me, then backed back over me like 20 fucking times.
Well, I already
Like,
said I was sorry. So what can
dude,
I
it
do?
was so bad. Like, every part of me hurt just to touch.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting down hurt my ass. Like, my butt cheeks felt like, you know, that feeling after a good ass whooping, right? Like, when your parents beat your ass with a belt.
Yeah.
Like how you don't want to sit down because it's tender.
Yeah.
Yeah, every muscle in my body for some reason just hurts so bad. I still feel the effects of it today.
That's pretty bad when you can't even sit down. Like, oh, I'm so sore. I need to sit down. Oh wait, I can't do that either. You know,
Yeah,
I guess I'll just float into the air. Yeah.
I wish. And today I can't stop stretching.
Oh,
Oh,
my shoulder. My
yeah.
shoulder keeps getting this random like pain off and on. Like it'll completely go away for a couple of days, and then one day I'll wake up and it'll come back, and it's like really sore again. I'm like, what the heck?
Probably sleeping on it wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the thing is, like, it wasn't even that bad of a week this last week at work, but like, it feels like I wouldn't like busted my ass off for 12 hours for 5 days straight at an actual fucking hard job. Like, I don't normally feel like this. Just something kicked my ass though.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just sleeping too rough.
you are too rough.
You would know. I'm only rough to people that like it.
Well, you know I like it.
Oh, really now? Okay,
I'm pretty much down for just about anything.
I don't need.
I do. I mean, I do have my lines. I draw, of course. I'm not gonna go like in some areas, but I'm not too picky. So
There's some areas of the shades of gray that I don't want to touch.
yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I won't mention what those areas are, but just know I have lines that I draw. They're just really, really far down.
Yeah.
I'm staring at this thing again.
Oh, my picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm staring at your picture.
Put something over your.
I'm not naked or anything though, so it's okay.
Yeah, I need to go change my profile pic real quick.
No, I just click on something else. Here, I'll just pull up a random Reddit page. There you go.
Oh, you're gonna get a reading something, and
Not. Yeah, I usually have to like be like I don't know how to explain it. Like I have to like I need a lot of concentration to like be able to read something, especially the way some of these people type things on Reddit. Like they'd be pulling out full on paragraphs about stuff. I'm like, geez, I feel like I got homework when I open up some of these posts.
What I like is the ones that do the full on paragraphs, but they don't know how to actually make a sentence or put the right usage of the words.
Yeah.
So it's like you got this paragraph that you're having to like decode.
Yeah. I've had a few where they're just full, like no punctuation or anything like that. It's just, they're just full on one long running sentence. It seems like you're reading. And I'm like, geez, people.
The thing is, like, I have a like theory that people that type that way speak that way in real life.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. A lot of people do type how they talk. I actually don't. The way I talk and the way I like text or post or whatever online are very, very different.
You know, I have a lazy way of typing when I just want to get through because I don't really like to text. I mean, I'm just because I'm dyslexic, so I'm typing for too long, just kind of comes to the issue. But
Sorry, I just bumped the microphone.
like actually talking to somebody like on a game or on a forum or something, I make sure I'm proper and all this. The words are used right because I'm like, I don't need these random motherfuckers misinterpreting what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because like face to face or over the phone, I'm talking. I just talk the way I talk. And if you're like, what? And then I go, okay, and then I can clarify if I've said something. But people online, they don't even attempt to be like, did you mean it that way? They just take it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, there's throughout my life, there's definitely been a lot of, especially when I was younger, because, when you're a kid and you hear like your parents say it or older siblings say it, you just assume that's the way you say the word.
Yeah.
And, but I remember when I was at school and I'd say the words that I thought I was supposed to say, and I constantly would get corrected on it and made fun of it rather, because kids, they don't correct you, they just start making fun of you. And so I was like, so I would practice like trying to say it the right way at home, so I would stop like I remember one time I used to always say the wonders all the time instead of wonder, like I would, instead of saying no wonder like about something, I'd go, oh, no wonders, like that, and I would have people constantly making fun of me for that. So.
Yeah. So I've been watching. Watching on YouTube because I'm listening to it. A podcast, another podcast, and it's. I think I talked about it before. Is Talkville.
What?
It's a rewatch podcast, and it's Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor, and Tom Welling, who played Clark Kent in Smallville. You got Ryan, who's Michael's helper on the cameras and stuff. And he puts in his 2 sentences and everything. But they're rewatching weekly every episode of Smallville. They're watching an episode a week, unless they try to cram 2 episodes in, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were the episode I got to, because they started this a year ago, and I'm just now realizing they done this, and which is kind of sad because I'm a big Smallville fan. And like I'm watching the video, I'm like realizing, like, damn, I was only 12 years old, 12, 13 years old, whatever, when Smallville came out.
Yeah.
And because it came out in 2001. But it was funny because they had John Schneider on there, who played Jonathan Kent.
Well, you would have been a little younger than that.
Huh?
You would have been a little younger than that. If in 2001 I was like 11 years old, you would have been like.
Well, because I'm about to be 31. So let's see here. You take 10 years off. Well, 20 years off. It's been over 20, a little over 20 years. You take 20 years off. and add 3, right?
Add 3. If you take 20 years off, that'll put you in
I'm in 9.
2004.
I'm in 9, almost 10.
Yeah, you would have been like 9. Oh yeah, almost 10 years old. So yeah.
Because they had it in the late 2001, so yeah, been 9 years old. And the funny thing is, I'm looking at it like Michael Rosenbaum and is 20 years older than I am, and Tom Welling's 15 years old. I'm like, God. But what was maybe funny to me, what made me think on it is they're talking to John Schneider, and because he came on the episodes, to one of the episodes and talked to him, and they made the comment to John, like, do you realize, John, that we are older now than you were when we filmed Smallville? John took a second. He's like, wait, what? How old are y'all? He spent 17 years with them two when they were young. And it just dawned on him how long it's been. I'm like, yeah, time flies. Because he's almost 20 years older than Michael Rosenbaum. And I remember John Snyder's almost in his 70s. Oh, Bo Duke. Like, there's certain things when I'm watching stuff, and I'm like, I'm not even old yet. I'm only 30. I'm about to be 31, but still feels like it's been a long ass time. 2000s.
Yeah. For me, it kind of depends on the era of the 2000s. There's the 2000 and most of the 2010s felt like they just flew by for me. Like my 20s, it just feels like I blinked and my 20s were like over almost. And but my late 20s, early 30s, on the other hand, it just feels like time's just been dragging for me. So like it feels like it should already be the middle of the year now. It does not feel like it's only February to me. So
I don't know. It feels like time to me. Like, I remember so much shit, but I think it's for me, I compact a lot of experience in 2 years.
yeah.
Like, doing all the shit I done, 2 to 3 years, I packed in all this experience in life. So my brain's like, I shouldn't have done that. That's something typically people stretch out through their lifetime.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck it. I had the opportunity to do it, and I did it. I mean, I guess they say, you guys seize the opportunity or you'll never have it.
Yeah.
But I think I seize too many opportunities. But the thing is, like, I seize too many. The problem in my life, like, I could be way better off than I am now. But I seize too many life opportunities, like experiences, over like really great like work, opportunities. Like, at one point, I had the opportunity to work on a cruise ship. I could, a guy that a friend of mine knew works on a cruise ship, and they were needing like 3 or 4 extra janitors.
Yeah.
I guess the group of them get fired or something. I don't remember what it was now. It's been like 12 years ago this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, apply, dude. I was like, I'll get you a job, man, immediately. It's like, all you do is you go on these cruise ships, you're gone for a while, and you don't have to spend any money while you're gone unless you want to spend a little bit on the stops when they stop on islands. And you come home and you have all this money. You're like, you don't need, you come home, you're gone. You're home for a few months, and then you get, called and like, hey, I need you on this specific ship at this specific time. They fly you out and you go to your ship. Like, cool, I'll think about it. Never did it. Never applied.
Yeah. Was there a
I should.
reason for that, or you just didn't feel like really messing with it? Yeah. Mhm.
I don't know what I was thinking. I just didn't fucking do it. Like I had no reason not to. I was single. I was living in my truck.
Yeah.
I had no reason not to. I could have just literally pulled my truck up at mom and dad's house and be like, hey, we'll keep my truck here for a little while. Now I'll go to work. And I could have just, never had to. But I mean, I wouldn't be married now, and then met the amazing wife, my amazing wife, But
Oh, how romantic.
um, but yeah, like I could have worked on a cruise. And the other opportunity I had, I could have got a job driving a train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd been fun as hell.
I heard
But
town
you don't
bus
know why you
drivers
were coming,
and
huh?
like I heard like in bigger cities, town bus drivers actually make really good money.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I could have been a train driver,
Public
and
bus drivers, that's what they're called. Mm.
yeah, I had the opportunity, didn't take it. I mean, heck, I had the opportunity to have a manager and actually try a actual acting career after high school drama and stuff. And I went to one audition that was for the Green Samurai Power Ranger and didn't get it for stupid reasons. I said, "Fuck this kind of world. I don't want it." Should have took it.
My 20s were more like the opposite. I kept practically dragging fingernails through the dirt trying to get an opportunity, and no one would let me have one. Of course, mine was mostly pertained to the, trying to get into the ministries in somehow, some way. Uh, but looking at it now, though, I'm actually kind of glad I never got an opportunity. But during the time, it was a very frustrating experience for me. I was like, what the heck? I was like, I'm trying really hard. Mostly wanted to do something music related, probably like worship leader, which I did get to be a worship leader in a church for a while, but I was a volunteer one. So I still had to work my day job. So,
Yeah.
but I was looking for more like a full time thing.
Well, the thing is, right? The concept of people are like, oh, but life works out the way it works out. Well, you get to do, you get to travel around the world. You get to do all this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing, right? The only thing I would actually have missed, right? If I actually said, didn't say fuck it, I'm going to actually, try for another acting job because my teacher, she had a friend that was in the business. She was a manager or whatever. It's called agent. Managers for bands and stuff, I guess. But she was an agent in the business, and she, hooked me up with her. And she had other stuff lined up that I could potentially go try, and that would probably fit, my body stature and who I was. I could probably have done it. And, and like, if I had done that, the only things I would miss is, there's a few people that I've met, like, you, my wife, and stuff that I would never met. That's literally the only thing I've been missing because I would have the money to travel
I
around the
love how you
world.
mentioned me first.
Well, it's because I'm actively talking to you.
I know. I just wanted to point that out.
My wife's at work. I don't see her. My brain's talking to you, so my brain went to you first.
Whatever excuse you need.
Uh huh. I mean, she does call you my work husband. I mean, there for a while with work, I seen you more than I seen her.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty common for a lot of work, like coworkers and stuff. They've admitted, like, I see these people more than I see my family, and I'm like, yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. Would I go back if I could go back in time and redo it? Would I? That's the age old question though. Like, if you could go back in time, would you change it? What would you change? Like, Probably not, unless I knew that I could go back in time multiple times. And that's just because I want to see what it was like, but I wouldn't want it to be my permanent life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd want to come back to this life, even if it's not as glamorous. And I have a decent house. I mean, I want a better one because this one's kind of falling apart, but I want to own my own house. I don't want to rent. That's the main part of this is I'm tired of renting, but,
Yeah.
uh, but really, it's the only thing, I want to change in my life as of right now is just, well, I'll be able to buy a new house and fix fix my Jeep. So we have two cars instead of one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But
always
that's just,
helpful.
yeah, that's just stuff, I'm slowly throwing money at. But talking about that, like, I think looking at it, because you were saying that, you had to dig and claw and you're trying to get this stuff and you weren't getting these opportunities. And I'm looking at it, like, yeah, I got opportunities, but like, I wonder if that's why my brain just like ignored them.
Yeah. It's hard
Because
when
like,
you're in your
here you
20s
go.
because you're still trying to figure things out. So you don't know if that's the right move or not, I guess, sometimes.
Well, with the acting career, I actually sought it out for a sec,
Yeah.
But when I went audition, I was just like, I don't really feel like doing this again. But like, because it didn't felt too easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like playing a different character and being whoever is easy for me. It's always been because I used role play all the time as a kid, whatever.
I want you to play a character in a play I'm writing.
I'll think about it.
You have to play a 7-year-old girl with asthma, and she has an eating disorder.
Oh wow! Okay,
Can you play that?
almost like you're writing Monica
And Monica,
before she got skinny.
she had an eating disorder?
Yeah, that's why she was so heavy.
I thought she was just born that way.
No, she constantly ate.
She didn't have asthma.
I mean, she might. I don't know. But that's what I said. Almost. There's two aspects that are different.
I think that's pretty open. You could probably think of tons of characters that would fit into that.
Well, it found on me Monica because like she apparently started eating a lot really young.
Yeah.
She always had an eating disorder. She was basically she grew up into an eating disorder. But anyways, like every time everyone's like,
Never
"Oh, I
really
can
thought of it like that.
this job. I can go. I do just apply. I can get you this job. No sweat." My brain goes, nah, I'm good.
You're good.
Somebody listening is gonna be like, "You're a dumbass." Probably.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, like, and that's like, because I was thinking on like getting the position where I'm at now with being the supervisor. I didn't earn that.
You did. You put in the time.
Well, not really. Like, I was just there. Like, say, like, I could have been hired like 2 years before the incident, and I still could have gotten it. Just because everyone else was brand fucking new almost.
Yeah.
And, our previous boss, rest in peace, passed away. Your sister didn't want the job, so it instantly defaulted to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have said no to it. He actually asked me if I wanted it. And then, I said yes because, of course, I didn't want some new person to come in and screw up what we had working, and it still works.
Yeah.
The system we have, it works, and why change it? It's America. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I don't mind changes in a job place, but if it's a change that doesn't really make any sense, then which happens quite often when new people come in, they come in and they think, oh, let's change this because that'll make things better. And you're like, that's not helping any. So, because they
Like,
haven't really been there long enough to really know what would be a good, help, change some situations,
I don't care if he even tries to say something. Like, what, the guy that was supposed to be supervisor before me,
Yeah.
he added extra paperwork that was not needed for our site.
He did?
Yeah, there's a piece of paper that he added, and it wasn't, approved of because he just wanted to do it instantly. It was something they
Yeah.
do at Dardanelle,
Oh, okay.
and he just wanted to do it. And so I was looking at it, this is stupid. We don't need this here. It doesn't work for our site. We never needed it.
Huh.
And
What was the
because
paperwork?
it was basically, so it was a different on duty thing. And it was like asking questions each time you have to answer, like if you had taken any pills that day, or if you had plenty of sleep that day.
Oh, yeah, I do vaguely remember that, where he started making us read that thing. We had to like check a couple of boxes and sign it or whatever. I can't remember exactly.
We had to fill out if we got all the equipment we need, which no one ever takes the equipment home from our site.
Yeah.
Don't need to. And like typically, if we can't find something, we start contacting each other.
Yeah.
So,
those kind of papers never really. People just blindly will eventually just start signing it without really thinking about it after a while. So
Yeah.
I think I already did that like the third time I signed it, if I remember correctly. I was like just sitting there kind of blindly, like, yep, and then sign.
Yeah, I know. I remember, the second or third time I was doing it, I'm like, this is pointless. I don't need this.
I was half tempted to leave the date off and then just print a whole bunch of them and then just write in the date every day. But I was like, yeah, it didn't take but a second to fill out, so I won't go through all that trouble.
Yeah, the thing is, our site definitely didn't need it because it also had the on duty spot, which most sites you need an on duty.
Yeah.
And that's to tell, you write down what every time you go on patrol or whatever. But we don't patrol during the week. So literally all you write on there is on duty.
Right. Did you show up for duty? Yes. Did you stay on your duty? Yes.
Literally just had to write in on duty at blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Sign off duty, blah, 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 blah time. Sign. I'm like, and on the weekends, we already know we do rounds every other hour. We have a paper that we write it on already. So it's so unneeded. So as soon as I was like, this is one thing I'm getting rid of. And it's the day, like literally the day that corporate came in and told me I had if I wanted the position, I could take it. And I said, yeah. That day I stood up after he left, stretched, walked around the desk, grabbed the handful of all those papers, all of them empty, just crumbled up, threw them in trash, took the extra copy of it, crumbled it up, threw it in the trash. My first bit of order as the supervisor was to get rid of that paper.
And that's my first decision as supervisor. I'll be getting rid of all this stupid crap.
Yeah. And it's funny, I can't wait till.
Yeah, to me, that would have been an example of a good decision made. But I mean, you weren't an outside person. But
yeah,
if someone would have come up and been like if there was paperwork that I felt like we were doing for a long time and I felt like it was unnecessary, and they came in and were like, "Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of that." That would, to me, I would have been like, "Thank freaking God," because. But if they started doing something like you just said, like adding in unnecessary paperwork, I'm like, why do we got to do it? Yeah.
Yeah. The new changes being happening is fine because it's just changing the way we clock in and out.
It's like back when they used to make us fill out those daily reports. Like it literally got to the point where I was just filling out the exact same thing every day. I was just like the exact same words and everything. So
What daily reports?
when we used to have to fill out those daily reports, like we had the little section on the bottom, so you fill out a report if anything happens, and that, but you put on there like you showed up for duty, and then in between you put the time that you showed up, and then in between you put in any events that may have happened, and then at the bottom you would put out like clocked out for duty or whatever with the time next to it, and then you would like,
Didn't you have to put like relieved by whoever was relieving
right,
us?
relieved by so and so, yeah. So
That got rid of that.
yeah, they got rid of that. I think out of all the time we had that, I only actually used that in a handy where it actually came in handy kind of thing, like maybe twice. So because I wrote a couple of things down of some stuff that happened that day. So
yeah, it came in handy to me once or twice because I used it as basically a pre incident report when the ambulance showed up one day. I can't remember why they were there.
Yeah, I usually would write like when the fire department showed up. Yeah,
and I was able to write the time they were there, what was they going on, that they were there for this kind of emergency.
right.
And then when they left, I wrote the ambulance or what the emergency response left at blah 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 blah. Everything's all clear. And then I was able to look at that and neatly write the incident report.
Yeah. I remember the first time after they got rid of those, and that one time they were like, wanted me to write an incident report because no one ever showed me how to do it. And I was just like, I didn't even know where they were. I was like, well, where do you even get them? And they had to show me. And I was like, oh, okay. I never had to even get it because anytime there was an incident, I just wrote it on that daily incident report. So,
you want to know the funny thing about my first time ever writing an incident report? You know, in the almost decade of doing security. So, my very first site, I was sitting there. A situation happened, right? Not on my shift. I mean, it was hours before I even came on duty. Right? I relieved the officer, and he's just like, "Oh, this happened." I'm like, "Okay, cool." The next morning, you know, I was talking. This is when the guy that was my friend that became the supervisor and became a total dick.
Yeah.
I told you that story. He came in and was like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I guess something weird happened last night. I don't fully know that. I don't know any of the details. He just said, blah, 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 said this. And he's like, oh, okay. I'll talk to him tonight when I see him. I'm like, cool. And instead of telling him, he tried to make me write the incident report.
When he was the one that
was there? The incident report. I'm like, I wasn't even there. I don't know the details.
Right.
I don't care.
Like, all I can write is what you literally told me because I have no firsthand knowledge of it. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying my supervisor told me to write it.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, all you would be able to write would be like literally what he told you. So,
which was not good.
Right. Because you weren't actually there for the situation. Yeah.
And actually, this caused a fight between me and him to the point where, and he contacted his boss in the corporate, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to write it. He told you to write it. You need to write it if your supervisor tells you to." And I told her point blank on the phone, "Fuck no, I don't know the details. My report is inaccurate, inefficient." And if something had bad happened and needed to be used, that incident report needed to be used in the court of law, it's thrown out.
Yeah.
It's useless.
Right. No, they would just see it and be like, oh, he wasn't even there. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was so bad of an argument. She shows up and has the entire crew show up together to have a meeting. And she tried to tell me again that I need to rinse her and look and to her face for everyone. No, he does. He's the one that was here, not me. He can write it. There's no point in me writing it. Didn't happen on my shift. All he told me is I had to call the supervisor over a situation. I don't know what the situation fully was. I don't know what the guy looked like that caused the situation. Don't know what the guy did to cause the situation. this is on him, not me.
Yeah. Why didn't he want to write the report? He was just being a
I don't
jerk
know.
again.
I don't know. He didn't. I don't know if he refused to write the report because he's just like, okay. And when she told him, like, all right, you write the report then. And he's like, yeah, okay. I think it's just because me and my supervisor had already been button heads.
Yeah.
He wanted to push it on me. And for some reason, the corporate lady was kissing his ass, which is weird. It's totally opposite.
I know. It's like usually it's the other way around. Yeah.
But I think what really had gone on, because, like, I told you about him. He had a chance to become a supervisor at a hospital. More pay, more stuff to do, bigger crew, better facilities, this and that, right?
Yeah.
Before she could drag him, because she instead of like letting her drag, go into this new site, when our corporate lady was asking him to, he quickly went to the guy inside our plant who I guess he had already been kissing his ass quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it enough that his whole lips are black? I mean, he'd been up there. I mean, his tongue's starting to turn the color. And cried to him about like she's trying to take him from that site, but he doesn't want to leave. That he wants to be the supervisor here. So the contract holder of the utility plant contacted her and told her she's not allowed to move him because he's the only one he likes and actually does his job, which wasn't the fucking truth. Like, it was funny. I took pictures of 5 different things after I relieved him, because this is how bad the fights got between me and him. Of that he fucked up. I took all the pictures of everything he fucked up in the paperwork. Like, we had to scan the bills, and they went up into the computer, and we could see in the computer what was going on. We could see how many, trucks someone done a day, whatever, in this computer. So I looked at his stuff because I knew how to get into it, thanks to the previous supervisor who he screwed over because he wanted to be the supervisor there, which was kind of stupid. So he screwed over the previous supervisor to get the position. The previous supervisor was a great supervisor. He was like Jared.
Yeah.
He'd get onto you when necessary, but he would, do his best to see what he could do without actually getting onto your ass.
Yeah.
And but he got rid of him, and he came at me about these mistakes. I'm like, dude, I didn't make those mistakes. He's like, yeah, you did. I know, bro. I took pictures of them. They're on you, bro. This is all your mistakes. I don't make mistakes. Motherfucker, you do. You've been here like 2 months longer than me. And we've both only been here not even a year. Like, this day, like, that's one reason I took the position that I did, because, like, we could easily have a motherfucker like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know who they're going to send you.
Yeah, that's what sucks about contract security. I mean, it sucks about jobs in general. I mean, I always hated the losing a good boss because they retired or they moved on to a site, and that there was the asshole in the corner that's been gunning for his job the whole time is about to get it. He's been puckering those lips the entire time, and you're like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, apparently now you're just, yeah.
I'm sorry, my son was telling me something. So I was trying to have 2 conversations at once.
God, kid, we're trying to work here.
Trying to work here. Volunteer work.
I was thinking though, like, if we ever get to the point where we have a spot where we can set up an actual studio instead of being just on a Zoom call to do this podcast and we have the cameras, I'm like wondering, because I'm over here, I do all these hand motions and stuff, and I'm like, you're gonna have this. I'm like, people can't see that right now, but if we ever do that, like, people's gonna see my weird, like, I talk very much with my hands.
Yeah.
And half the time I don't even know what my hands are doing.
I'm kind of off and on with my gesturing. Sometimes I'm not doing any, and sometimes I'm going like way overboard with it. So
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining if we ever get to that point.
I think it kind of depends on how into the conversation I get. Like the more into it I get, the more like gesturing I tend to do. So
We're gonna be sitting there, doing the editing back, and we're gonna be like, "Why the fuck was my hands doing that? What the fuck was my face? What is this?" Because there's a difference between like being a YouTuber or something or streamer and playing video games. Because your hands are busy, you're occupied, you're doing your games or whatever.
yeah,
But in a podcast, even if it's more, a news podcast or an interview podcast or like ours, just random shit podcast, you don't have a lot of the excuses to keep your hands busy.
yeah.
So
Uh,
it's bound to be entertaining and make us go, God.
oh yeah.
Oh, how many times do I do that? Do I do that
I
every time I'm talking?
I still had to get used. I finally just now barely started getting used to some of the weird things I do while I talk on here, like when I'm listening to the podcast back, and like I said, particularly that whole humming thing that I do. I don't know what's up with me doing that.
You do that a lot.
I know. I'd never even noticed I did it. Like I don't recall ever doing it on the podcast where I was just essentially talking to myself. I get maybe I only do it with other people. I don't know. I was like, I kept going, why am I doing that? That's so annoying. And I can't get myself to stop.
Yeah, you do it at work. You'll be sitting there, we'll talk. I'll be talking or something, and you just start humming a weird tune. I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah. Well, sometimes I am just humming a song, but yeah, I'll do this random humming thing after I get done saying something where I'm like, hmm, hmm, hmm. I'm like, why am
Yeah,
I doing that, guy?
you're humming. You're
Yeah.
becoming a villager.
Oh.
You're in your training to be a Minecraft villager.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. They die all the time.
I know, right?
We're getting slayed by a random asshole who forces them to trade shit.
I'm all right with it.
Yeah. I have yet to actually listen to one of our podcasts because I don't want to hear myself. Like, I don't want to catch things that I do, like just way I speak. So, like, I'm definitely not going to watch our podcast once it's recorded.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be tricky when I have to kind of do this weird thing if I'm ever editing a video that I'm actually in it, where I sort of black out kind of myself in the video. I pay more attention to the actual. I'm trying to explain it where it kind of makes sense, but I pay more attention to the overall video itself to kind of see if it's entertaining, if that makes sense. Because it's hard for me to judge myself if I'm actually being entertaining or not, and because that's kind of more up to other people to decide. But so I kind of just, I guess you could say I was just always just judging the quality of the video itself. And then I would kind of block out myself because if I sat there and watched myself, I'd just constantly be cringing the entire time. Like, God, I'm like, I don't even want to upload this video now because like it's so horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Like, because I mean, right now you're just listening to it, like,
With audio, it's not as bad on me. I can hear myself talk about silly things, even if it is a bit cringy. It doesn't bother me as much. But yeah, seeing myself and hearing myself like talk on there, yeah, it's a bit trickier for me. I have to kind of work around it a little bit.
And when we get to the point where we're actually decided to show ourselves and be on camera and this and that, these are hour-long to 2-hour-long episodes that we're doing. Like, you're gonna be watching yourself for like 2 hours.
I know, right? At least the YouTube videos I would do were only like, well, the full recording would usually be up to like 20 minutes because there's all the fluff in between where I'm standing up, sitting down, and getting stuff set up. But the actual video itself usually winded up only being like between 5 to 10 minutes long usually. And so that's not quite as bad as like a 2 hour, me sitting there having to watch myself. I guess I'll just have to stare at you the whole time I'm editing. So I'll just ignore me.
Thing is, you're gonna be sitting there looking at me, and we're gonna be sitting like across from each other. How we're gonna do this?
Yeah.
And you're gonna catch out of the corner of your eye, like you do a weird shift or move your leg weird. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Probably just catch myself playing with my hair all the time. I know I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I can't, for some reason, I can't get myself to stop playing with it. Just, well, that's, but yeah.
Dude.
I didn't mean for that to sound like that, but I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't stop playing with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sit here and I just constantly mess with my beard, and my mustache and my bill patch.
I know at work you're constantly looking in the window, like staring at your beard and stuff as you're sitting there playing with it. And I'm like,
so I'm trying to shift it because like it gets all raggedy and everything.
or
and
you
I'm
do
like,
that hair thing where you like push all your hair forward and then you start fixing it the way you want it.
yeah.
And I'm like, and you do it so constantly too. I'm like, geez, man. I'm like, and every time you fix it, it looks almost exactly the same. I'm like, you realize that you're like one of those teenage boys back in like the early 2010s that would constantly do that hair flip thing, and they'd constantly be fixing it. But then when you would see it, it's like it looks exactly the same. Why are you fixing it? It
You
looks
also got to think of me. I haven't had hair this long since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Because and that was only for like 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
I had it extremely long.
I've had it long off and on growing up, but I never had it this long. So.
Yeah, but that's because I wasn't living at home with my mom at the time.
Yeah.
As soon as I got back around, oh, you're getting a haircut. I'm gonna buzz your hair. All right.
Yeah, no, my mom did that crap to me. But once I became like a teenager, my mom stopped doing that because I straight up said, "No, I do not want my hair buzzed." So,
oh, my mom didn't care.
That was one thing I did actually, believe it or not, put my foot down on. I was like, "No," I was like, "You're not buzzing my hair."
She probably would have let me do what I wanted in my hair if I actually like pushed it.
Yeah.
And my brain was like, I was like, yeah, it's just easier just to let her do it. I can do it. I can have it, I can put on a hat or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wore a hat. I got, that was on one point. I got to the hat phase where I wore a ball cap all the time, and it didn't matter. I guess it was always covered.
Yeah.
I did my emo gothic phase. I had a fedora. Don't ask.
Oh God. You didn't do the fedora flip thing, did you?
I done it a couple times just for the hell of it, but never as like a consistent weird thing.
Yeah.
I did it one time to see if it would work. Because in the movies you see them, they do the trick with their hat, they flip it down, and get the girl attention or whatever. I was like, I'm curious. Will this actually work? All right, like I had it down pat, the flip, and I could toss it up, catch it on my head, and just slightly fix it. And I was like, I wonder if this really would work. No, at least for me, it didn't work. Yeah. But it probably didn't help that I tried it on a girl that knew me, actually knew. And she knew. She's like, Eric, you're a dork, right? I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, you're right. Anywho, moved on my day,
Pretty much.
Like maybe if I used it on a random female that didn't know me,
Yeah. They didn't know what a big dork you were. Maybe they would have been more impressed.
Yeah. But it's because I swear it's because they knew I was a dork already. I mean, I've been in school with them for like 2 years, so
yeah. Oh man,
just one of those days I feel extra old.
Extra old.
Yeah, like maybe 10, 3 times my age. I feel like I'm 90 today. Everything hurts. My bones feel like they're creaking. I'm like, damn. I'm only 30.
You were already doing that when you were in your 20s.
Oh, my 20s, I had a reason for that. I don't have as much of a reason anymore.
Heck, that was happening to me in my 20s.
Well, in my 20s, let's see here. I had already previously, a few years before that, broken my back. I had I want to say from 17 to 21, I was rough on myself, bro. Like, if my body was a car, it would have been broken. It would have been destroyed. There would have been no replacing it. Like jumping off train bridges into fucking, well, we don't know if it was shallow or deep yet, so we just jumped off just for the hell of it. I mean, it was like, oh, the river looks flooded. Hey, why don't we just dive in for the train bridge? All right, that sounds good. Let's do this. Luckily, it was deep. Yeah, I'd been hit by 3 cars by then. Broke my back. Played a shit ton of football. Like, that takes its toll. Like, yeah, you got padding and stuff, but colliding with another human being full force, that hurts after a while. That takes its toll. I've been rock climbing, sliding off rocks, skydiving. Huh?
I was reading this Reddit post.
Oh, see, I told you were going to end up reading a Reddit post.
Actually, it was just a picture. There's a picture of like lettuce, like 2 things of lettuce just sitting on a tray with like 1 sliced tomato on top. I was like, hey, 2 salads from SpongeBob.
No, you know what? I'm done. The rest of this episode's you. You can talk now. No.
So the older guy at work, Mr. Positivity or whatever, he always brings a coffee thermos.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed he got a new one this week, and I was just like, oh, is that a new thermos? And he's just like, yeah. He was like, I had to get a new one because people kept making fun of the shape of the old one. I was like, the shape? What was wrong with the shape of it? And he's like, oh, they kept making jokes saying it looked like a dildo. And I was like, how did it look like a dildo? And they were all, he said, I don't know who he was referring to. He just kept saying they. And they were like, oh, yeah, they were making jokes saying, like, oh, what are you doing with that, kid? Yeah.
I didn't make the comment to that. The only time I've ever made a comment to his old one was the fact that it was starting to leak.
Yeah, it probably was. It did look kind of old, but.
Well, also didn't help that he wouldn't finish his coffee in the cup fully, and he just throw it back on top so coffee would spill everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he always spilled coffee everywhere. But yeah, he kept saying that. I was like, I never even noticed it looked like that. He was like, see, I never thought of it like that either. And I was like, yeah, some people just don't know how to get their mind out of the gutters.
Yeah, that's where some people live. Yeah. I mean, I have a common furnace that thermos. Fuck, that was same kind of thermos as he originally had, and it doesn't look like a dildo. I mean, I guess if you're brave enough, technically anything can be a dildo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes when you don't have money, you got to get creative,
Like I said, if you're brave enough,
some of those toys can be kind of expensive,
That is true. Or
they are. That's not even a joke either. That some of them really are.
So, I don't know if I ever told you this, and so my cousin, right? He's a truck driver, and one of the companies he was working for, he was out on the road. He was stopped at a truck stop. I can't remember where though. But he went to sleep, whatever, and he woke up the next morning. He was about to get out his truck, to do his morning checks on his truck, and he was about to head inside to go get some breakfast and take a shower.
Yeah.
And he said he got out of his truck, didn't even look towards the front when he got out. He pulled the in the back, didn't even look at his leg because he wasn't, he was half asleep. He wears Crocs, so he put his Crocs on, and he said he went towards the back to look at the trailer, And he says he came around the front to go towards, the front of the truck. He caught something out of the corner of his eye, so he looked over and looked on the hood of his truck. Right there on the hood, with a dildo and a pocket pussy.
Yeah.
Somebody had put it on his truck. He's like, wow, and they were open. So he didn't know, I don't know if they're used or what. Like, because he calls me. Hasn't even finished his truck check yet. And he calls me and wakes me up. He's like, bro. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, I got this somebody left the fucking dildo on the pocket pussy on my truck. I'm like, in the box? I know. They're not in the box. I'm like, what are you going to do about it? He's like, I don't know yet. I'm like, dude, you should totally go get some gloves on or something. Put it in a bag and take them home and re-gift them to someone just for the prank. Like, I don't know. I don't at this time. I don't know what he did to him. I'm afraid to ask.
You must but say, may not want to know. No.
Truck driver, so he's a lonely motherfucker.
Yeah.
He might have just kept them, used them for all I know. I
don't know. Yeah. Well, whatever he wants to do. Yeah.
But it was great. He was getting called that morning. I'm like, normally when he calls me in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck is going on now? He's always bad about calling me early in the morning, being like, just to tell a random vent. I'm like, ugh. That was just a great morning. I'm like, I just started dying laughing. Like, yep, this is what I wake up to. My cousin hollering about the fact that somebody put a fucking dildo and pocket pussy on his semi truck. Yay. People are weird.
Yeah, it's like one time I saw a YouTube video and they were talking about when the guy on there, he was pulling up crazy posts of things that people tried to sell on Craigslist. And one of the things some woman was trying to sell was all her used dildos. I'm like, who wants to buy used dildos?
There's people that do it because you can buy them cheaper. You just sanitize them because they're made out of material to be sanitized and reused.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I still wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You can have them surgically clean, and I would never touch it.
You could take them completely apart, sanitize every piece, refurbish them. Yeah, I still wouldn't want to use it. Nope. Yeah. You need to completely destroy that thing.
I'm just going to have to spend the extra on the new one.
Yeah.
If I really want one that bad, I'm just going to go buy one.
Is it worth saving the extra, whatever it is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even use one that had been opened up just for a prank and never been used, but it would have been handled by someone else.
Yeah. If once it's been opened, I'd be like, yep, it's immediately questionable in my mind. I would be like, yep, not using that. Yeah.
It could be like your best friend, like, man, I never used it. Like,
I just looked at it. Well, yeah, that's good enough for me. You looked at it. I'm not going to use it.
I'm down. Mm-hmm. You open it, you touched it, it belongs to you.
You can keep it or throw it away, do whatever you want with it, but I ain't using it. Yeah.
I'm not using it. So, some people using I even with my wife, couples using each other's toothbrush.
Oh God, yeah, that's disgusting.
No, we would never.
No.
I'm a smoker. I have different bacteria in my mouth.
Yeah.
And I go to work and I breathe in all that gunk over there. But and I also can't stand couples that people that are, even if they're dating or whatever, using the same scrubbies.
Scrubbies?
Shower scrubbies.
Oh, like a loofah or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not as bad.
It's just like, no, because, you know, mm,
It's kind of like the bar of soap thing. People use same bar of soap.
I never would. And if I had
But
to,
like when you think about it, it is kind of gross, but it's like, yeah, it is what it is kind of thing. So, but I live alone, so it's not a big deal for me.
I remember getting in trouble because I was at a friend's house, and I needed to, I was staying a couple nights with them, and I took a shower. Their mom got so pissed at me because I wetted the soap to get nice and soapy and soft, and slowly scraped off the outer layers.
One thing you can do with bar of soap is you could always wrap a washcloth around it. Some people do that, and then when they're done, they just throw the washcloth in the dirty clothes, and then yeah.
But I use liquid body wash. I don't.
That's what most people do nowadays. They use the liquid. I just switched back to the bar of soap because it doesn't have any chemicals in it, and I have very sensitive skin. So
Yeah, I know.
yeah, you can make fun of it, but yeah.
I can use someone else's like liquid soap. That's fine.
Yeah.
And I can use someone else's shampoo typically. As long as it's a shampoo that I will actually use. But I will not use someone else's washcloth. I will not use someone else's loofah. I will not, like, I don't shave anymore except for like my neck or whatever.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, I like, no one, if somebody else touched my razor and went to use it, I'd throw that blade away. Nope.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't share a razor with someone else.
Like I won't ever share a beard comb with someone else.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I can't share a comb or a brush with anybody either. I can't stand that.
Like if it's a person, like I've done it before. Like I couldn't find my comb when we went to like I think it was Space Camp Alabama. And one of my buddies who has nice hair, he keeps his hair clean and all that. I guess I forgot to pack my comb. And he's like, "Here, you can go ahead and use mine." I'm like, "All right." Just ran it under hot water real quick and combed my hair out. I washed it off. And that's because I
used my finger.
Like I didn't like it, but I knew enough about I knew he didn't have head lice or whatever. Yeah. But the reason I won't use someone's beard comb or let someone use my beard comb is because food particles and spit particles all get on your beard, and I'm like, no, I don't need your whatever you got on your beard and my beard.
Hope it mix it together. Hope that don't start a fire or something.
I don't know. I mean, beard hair is coarse enough. Anything to deal with close enough to the mouth or genitals or the armpit and ass and feet, I won't touch something else. No. And of course, with the razors, because if you nick yourself, you got a little blood on that. Even if you rinse it off, there's still. So if like someone that had some kind of blood disease or illness or whatever, use a razor and nick themselves. No.
It's STD.
Yeah, because I actually know a girl that has an STD because she ended up having to use a really dirty bathroom on a road trip because she couldn't hold it. There was no possible way she she wiped she wiped the toilet and all that and put the thing on top of it, but she still and she never had sex with the guy, and we know that because we know her very well. She's one of my distant relatives, but I found out later because I'm related to her cousin. We just thought we were best friends. We were just best friends. We didn't even know we were distant related. But I'm like, stuff like that. I'm like, no. I'm not a germaphobe, but.
Well, I'm not either, but there's just a lot of that stuff is very psychological for me. I'm really not scared of germs, but It's just something about sharing some of that stuff. I'm just like, nope, can't do it.
Like, I'm not the type of person like I wouldn't do it in any situation. Like, there's not a situation in the world you can make me do this. No, like when me and my buddies were out hiking and stuff, and if my canteen went dry or his canteen ran out or whatever, I don't mind. I'd share a canteen.
Oh, see, that doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's the weird thing about me. I could share a drink with a stranger. It literally wouldn't bother me. So
I couldn't share a
I
drink
will not share brushes with.
I couldn't share a drink with a stranger unless it was like me and a stranger was like surviving in the wilderness. Some like we got like lost or whatever.
Right. Plus, the good thing is if it did bother. I mean, when I was younger, like me and my friends, we'd share drinks sometimes, but me, like I didn't care, like just putting my mouth right on it, but like we would all do the whole waterfall thing. I mean, it's not that hard. So
it's like it took me forever. And I think a lot of this part was because my mom.
Yeah.
And it was until my most recent stepdad. He had no problem with at a restaurant when they hand you your drink, you just drinking it.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "No, you gotta use a straw because," and she's always that way for my So I could never like drink out of a cup at a restaurant without it being having a straw.
Right. Most people can't. They like the straw because they feel like they're putting their mouth where someone else has put their mouth because they are.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm like, my brain's like, yeah, I guess it's good because they're strangers, but like, you go to someone's house and you get a glass to drink out of, they've put their mouth there before.
Right. The only reason why I use a straw at a restaurant is because I like straws. So it really has. If they didn't offer me the straw, I could drink right out of the cup. It wouldn't bother me. So.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, like, restaurants have a code they have to keep things clean too,
Right.
So they're average cleaner than the average humans. I mean, I guess you wouldn't say it would cleaner than the dishes that my mom did. I mean, oh God.
Yeah, I used to be a dishwasher in a restaurant. They actually clean the cups really well. So, I mean, they put them in a cup rack and run it. You run them through the machine, and the machine does a really good job. So,
that's an industrial cleaning machine.
Yeah, it's way better than like any dishwasher you'd have at your house. So, it's
because it can sanitize and clean and steam heat kills germs and it's. I mean, it doesn't matter what's stuck on the plate. You just throw it in there and it just blasts it off.
Plus, I was one of the dishwashers that I always ran the cups through twice. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So once they come out of the other side, I'd pick them up and I'd run them back through again. So
make sure they're extra clean.
I guess it's because the cups were the one items we actually didn't spray off before I ran them through. So I didn't actually get to see what was really on it very well. So I would just make myself feel better by just running it through twice. So
I always laugh though, and I made it. I actually been tempted to make this comment to my mom. I've never made it because she uses the silverware there.
Yeah, it's like you realize someone's mouth has been on that too. Yeah, on that fork, that spoon. Yeah.
Like, you grab a spoon. Not only that, but you're grabbing a spoon from like a salad bar or something. You don't know how many people touch that one spoon or fork trying to get getting those. Or there's some people that are assholes who do that. Just put their hands in there.
Oh yeah, any kind of salad bar or buffet. If you ever think about the amount of people that have touched like the surface of that counter or those spoons and stuff, it's one of those things you don't think about when you do it because it gets gross the more you think about it.
Yeah, that's why germaphobes don't go out to eat.
Yeah.
Because these places are like humans are disgusting on average, and it's not like not disgusting because we're not clean or whatever, but our body picks up so much bacteria just going out your door.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as soon as you take a shower, after you get done with a shower, you walk 5 feet and you're already somewhat dirty. You're dirty again.
Yep. As soon as you get out of the shower, even after washing yourself, with soap and everything, like the bacteria on the surface of her skin already is immediately multiplying again. So
yeah, it's weird to think about.
yeah.
Science is fascinating. Biology.
Oh yeah.
Was it you that I said biology to, and you're like, what's that?
Yeah, that was me. I was being silly, and you were like, "Have you ever taken?" Because you were talking about something in biology. I can't remember what it was, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah," like playing really stupid. And you're like, "Did you not take biology in high school?" And I was like, "Biology."
The thing is, like, you wait till it's a moment where I'm actively like describing something to pull your shit,
Yeah,
and you'd think I'd recognize it at this point, but when I'm in those modes, I don't think.
yeah,
That's just the type of person I am. Like, when I describe something or I'm debating about something, I don't think, because I typically don't debate about stuff that I don't know.
yeah,
Like, you gotta know at least 80% about what I'm about to debate you with to actually debate you. If I don't know at least 80%, I'm just like, okay, whatever.
yeah. Well, that's fair. Obviously, you wouldn't want to debate someone on a topic that you don't know much about. So
Yeah, because like, and you can tell, like, in my debates, like, I've noticed, you can tell the severity of how much I know by how agitated I get.
yeah,
I'm opposite. Like, when people are like, they know, they're 100% they're correct, they're calm, right?
yeah,
No, not me. If I know it and you're trying to say opposite and I know for a fact you're fucking wrong,
yeah.
I get aggressive.
That's the
But if I
way. Yeah,
but if I don't know 100% or whatever, like, I'm like, maybe, I'll start being calm, like, because I'm not 100% sure. I'm starting to think. My brain kicks on. I start thinking about it and trying to analyze this. And like, oh, okay, yeah. You probably might be right,
yeah. It kind for me. I think it depends on the topic at debate. Some things I know, like if I'm debating someone, I know like I'm right about it, but like it's not the debate's not that big of a deal to me, so I'm more calm during it. But if it's something like I guess I'm more passionate about it or whatever, like I sometimes I will get kind of frustrated during the debate. Because it's
Yeah.
like, especially like some of the stuff people are saying, I'm like, that doesn't even make sense,
Like, people say, like, the line of, like, you need to learn how to stay calm in a debate, because once you get aggressive and angry, that's when they beat you in a debate. They know how to control you now. No, you need to learn how to control yourself when angry in a debate, because it's not gonna win. If you're in a heated debate, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be aggressive,
Yeah,
especially something you're passionate about and you want to try and win this debate. You want to push the other one away. You're going to be aggressive. You just got to learn how to control yourself in that aggression and know how to utilize the aggression and not get it turned back on you.
yeah,
But the problem is, I have friends that have learned that, and they will specifically get me into a debate about something that I know and I am passionate about, just to rile me up. And you know one of them,
I do.
Jay.
He does that.
Yeah, he fucking.
I've never seen him do that to you. Not that I've noticed.
Because we're typically, by the time you see us, we're about ready to get the fuck out of there.
Is that why you always look really annoyed at each other by the time I get there?
I mean, the time you get there, Jay has been there 16 hours.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, yeah, he's not working all 16 hours, but he's sitting there for
Yeah.
extra hours just to hang out and chill.
Yeah.
And we've already had 8 hours to get over whatever he just decided to get me riled about. Oh. Yeah, I'm kind of glad it didn't storm like they said it was going to this weekend.
Yeah, it rained kind of hard this morning, but that's about all I really saw of it.
Yeah, like the weather said it's like, oh, it's going to rain all day long, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, not really. I mean, in the end, I didn't care because I'm at home. I'm like, I don't have to go nowhere. I don't care. You could come a fucking sideways pouring typhoon. I'm just going to be
Have you
cuddling
seen
out.
Have you seen all that rain that California's getting? They're getting tons of rain right now.
They need it.
That's what I was thinking. They were making memes about the rain and like making jokes. So like, oh, we got all this rain. Like they were fake crying about it, I think. And honestly, y'all need the rain. Y'all never get very much rain. Yeah, that's the reason why y'all have such dry, um, state there. Mm.
The funny thing is, they're on the coast. They don't get a lot of rain.
Yeah, there's something about that. The pattern of that side of the my mind's drawing a blank. The ocean. That would be the Pacific, right? Because the Atlantic's on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just doesn't get much rain flow for some reason. I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, that's a little weird because like most cities on the coast get a lot of rain.
Yeah, because like in Florida, it rains every freaking day. So even if it's only for a few minutes, it rains every day. So,
Yeah.
but Florida's like practically a rainforest. So
Yeah. You gotta be a special kind of person to be able to make it in Florida. Shout out to my friends that I have in Florida. Yeah, I've had a few friends that are in Florida. I think only like 2, 3 of them are still there. The others have moved off to Florida.
I don't think I knew anyone who actually is currently living in Florida, except for maybe the former security guard we had there. I'm assuming he still lives there.
I mean, he moved down there, so I
Yeah,
heard.
other than him, I don't think I know. I mean, I had parts of my family used to live there, but they moved out of Florida a while back. They haven't moved there. So I don't know other than him, I don't currently know anybody that lives in Florida.
You know, I always find it funny, like, so these movies and shows, like, they film in these weird places. Like, I know, like, a lot of CW shows is filmed in Montreal, Canada, or Toronto, one of the two. I can't remember. It was I can't remember. Somewhere, one of the two places in Canada. Like, they always film in the wintertime. Like, you know, the end of the year. Like, that's gotta be miserable.
Yeah.
Like, I love Canada. You know, being up there was great. It's a beautiful place. But God, and since we have some Canadians that listen, you guys have some crappy winter weather. Like, if it rains, it's so cold. The rain, like the one water droplet touches you, and you're like, ugh. But like typically, you know, you're wearing the correct outfit. You know, because I don't get cold easy, and you've seen me, you know, walk around and 12 degrees without a jacket on.
Yeah.
But I don't like cold rain. The thing is, like, people typically, you wear the right clothes for the weather, but these actors and actresses and stuff are like having to wear these typical normal clothes that aren't right for the weather because they're trying to portray it somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you film in Canada and portray it in somewhere else? Like, why not just film somewhere that's nice, has some cold days? What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they do that.
Yeah, like, because like All of Supernatural was filmed in Canada, but they're going through all the states. Like all of Smallville, they're pretending to be in Kansas. They're all filming in Canada. Like it's fine, and some of these ones, like the thing is, there is actually a Smallville, Kansas,
Yeah.
and like, why didn't you just film an actual Smallville, Kansas? Some of these, I don't know if it's like maybe they get it. Maybe they can film cheaper in Canada. I don't know. They get a tax break. I don't get what the corporation does it, but a lot of it's primarily CW. Like almost every CW show is in Canada. It's where they're filming and portraying it somewhere else. So you can watch CW shows and you actually pick out places that you see in other shows.
Yeah, it's like the original Halloween movie. They filmed it in California, but it was supposed to be taking place in the Midwest, and so they had all these palm trees everywhere, and they you could tell they tried to hide them on camera, but some of them did get in the shot, but they didn't have any leaves or anything for it because it's supposed to be like fall. Obviously it's Halloween, so he actually had to get some leaves, and he was like dumping them into the shot. So those leaves at the beginning of the film that are falling into the shot, they're literally just like throwing them into the shot of the camera because they didn't actually have any leaves because, California.
Yeah.
Not much foliage there. And
a lot of movie magic, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Like you shoot these places and places that in different places which you're portraying them as. It's like you got what's that? Stand belief. It's something belief. It starts with the
I don't know. Don't give me like
spin belief. Ness. What the fuck? Guess it's spin belief when you're watching all these movies and shows.
Yeah.
And try not to like pay too close attention.
Yeah.
It's just great. Like the thing, somebody pointed out that in Smallville and Supernatural, they used the same spot in both shows in a certain spot, and you can catch it on film on the show.
Yeah.
Like, also like, if anybody like kudos to like the audio guys who have to like edit the audio and this and that, because when you're recording and you're not on set and you're actually out and about with the public, like kudos to them to, like, make it where people around them don't sound Canadian and fucking you hear them.
Yeah.
It'd be like trying to record something in Arkansas or Georgia or Tennessee, Texas, and trying to say it's New York.
Yeah.
You hear somebody in the background speak, you're gonna know. Wait, I know that accent.
Yeah, because some accents are very distinct, and you can immediately tell. Yeah, it's like, yep, that's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Like, it has to be expensive though for them. Like in projects like Supernatural, would be expensive as hell to try and go to every state in the United States for each episode, and like that'd be hell on the actors.
Yeah.
Constantly traveling like that.
Yeah, just to film a few scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be hell. But lucky enough, Canada has some similar foliage to the United States because they're the same continent. So,
oh yeah,
it's not like Power Rangers films in New Zealand and trying to make it off that they're in America. I mean, it's later on series that they do that because, like, early on they still filmed in California.
Yeah.
Like all the Mighty Morphin that was California. I mean, it was Angel Grove, California. But most of their stuff like that, the scenes nowadays, if you watch a Power Rangers, like I can't remember when they started doing it. Because I don't remember if it was before, Ninja Storm, because I know Ninja Storm was in New Zealand. But I don't know if they'd done anything before Ninja Storm that was in New Zealand. But the mountain range and stuff, that was all the same place. That was all the same spot. I mean, that's because a lot of it looked just like what they were filming over in Japan.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It made it easier for them to use the stock footage.
For mommy. For mommy.
Cutting corners there, Saban and Disney. Thank you, Hasbro, for deciding not to do that no more. Make actual good shit. Yeah. New Zealand's another place. New Zealand's great, but just like Canada, it's got shit weather a lot of times.
Yeah, I don't know much about New Zealand.
Yeah.
All I
It's
know is next
coldish,
to Australia.
But yeah.
Yeah, but we're almost out of time, so I guess we'll wrap things up here.
Alrighty.
Like I said, we do have a YouTube. Just reminding everybody, if you want to check it out, link will be in the show notes. Is there anything else you want to add, Eric?
No, I typically add if you like it, follow us on Spotify and YouTube. Give us a subscribe and on YouTube, and yeah. And if you actually make a comment, I actually tend to peek over on the comments in YouTube section. So if you want to say a stupid thing about us, I'll typically catch it. That's all for me.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.